Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you've been enjoying my videos. Today I'm going to be attempting to do a wheel alignment on my wheels. Now the reason that I'm doing it is because when I've taken it to places, they straighten up my wheels. I can't get them to give me a 2mm toe in. Now because I'm running a larger tyre than is standard on this car, I'm running a 285/75/16, and what's recommended after doing a lot of reading and a lot of research is that you run a 2mm toe in, because the size of the tyre, and this is my understanding, so if somebody out there tells me this is wrong, that's okay, but this is what I've understood from it, that as you're driving forwards with the slightly larger tyre, the rubber can actually flex slightly out. So if you're doing a dead straight wheel alignment, it's going to flex, and as you're driving and end up with a 2mm or with toe out, which is going to make the car a little bit unsettled on the road. So the last time I had issues, and I've just had the whole front, had to rebuild the whole front end. Unfortunately, I couldn't bring you that video, but the car's starting to feel a little bit toey on the road. It wants to jump and dart a little bit. So I'm going to just check it today and see. And the last time I did this and put the 2mm toe in, it lined up, it drove beautiful, nice and straight down the road. Now, after the front end rebuild, I was starting to get a roll on the edges of the tyres here. Now I've done a front back swap so that I can flatten them out. I'll take you down the back and you can have a look at that tyre. So just here down the back, and this one's not as bad as the other side, but you can see here it's rolling out. So it's flat here and then it curls out, and that's what I'm trying to take out by getting my wheel alignment straight. They're on the back here to flatten out, and the front ones that have been on the back are a lot flatter, and hopefully the car won't jump around anymore. Let's get into it. Now, if you are going to attempt this at home, this is a bit wild, but me and Dad have just made this up, and you can see here it's just a piece of wood with a piece of steel bolted to it, and it's nice and pointy tip there, so that you can actually line up, whoops, I just hit the car, line up exactly where you're going to be on your wheels. Now to do this, and we're going to see how it goes here because this is just the driveway at home. A nice big piece of flat concrete is actually a lot better to do this on. The driveway here has a slight slope down, but we'll see how we go with it. I'll take it for a drive after and see if it's any better. I'm trying to get rid of that movement on the road. Yes, before I get comments, all my bushes are nice and tight. Everything, all the bolts, I've checked everything else, which means it's got to be my wheel alignment. Now to start off, we're going to want to mark the back of the tyre. What I've done is I've moved the car forwards and backwards so that it's running nice and straight up and down the slab of concrete here. I'm just going to use a bit of paint on the back. You could probably use chalk and some other things, but today it's going to be a bit of paint. It's quick dry paint. Make sure you don't get it on your car. Just something like that, you can put a scratch in. It should come off later on. I'll go do the other side. Okay, now that our paint is dry, we're going to put our calipers, and it may be helpful to have somebody on the other side of the car because you don't want to move these in and out as you're doing this. But we're going to poke them through like that. And we're going to sit it somewhere like that on the ground, and we're going to put a scratch in our paint. Just like that. Good. So now that we've marked it, we want to bring it out, our calipers out very carefully without bumping anything. That's why we've got the nuts done up nice and tight here on it. We'll just sit that there. Now we're going to roll the car forward half a turn so that our mark here ends up at the front of the car here. So you can see we have our mark here on the front now. We've rolled it from the back to the front without turning the wheels. Wheels were dead straight all the time. We grab our calipers again, very, very carefully. We're going to line that point up with the same point on our mark on this side and the same point on the other side. Okay, so we've rolled it forwards here and lined it up. I've had to jack up one side here because my ground's not quite flat. But what you can see is that right there is where the point is sitting, but over here is where my mark was. So that actually means, it's actually, looking at my ruler, it's actually about 3mm toe out that we're running. So that means I'm going to have to adjust this to pull the wheel in a little bit to line this up. Let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to get under the car now. So car's in gear, handbrake on, wheels chocked, and we're going to loosen off the tie rod end adjusters. Okay, so just in here at the back behind your swivel hub is your tie rod, and you're going to need to loosen this off. And then you're going to do the other side on the other side of the car. Okay, now you may need vice grips on this to grab it, give it a turn, but mine looks pretty easy. Now I'm going to rotate it underside to the front of the car, which is going to give me push my toe in, just like that. And I'm going to go a full turn, and I've just noticed I've actually got a big bend in that, which is not actually very ideal. So there is one full turn. Now we're going to check it out the front and see how that goes. Okay, we've been under the car, we've made some adjustments, and I'm just going to switch sides here and hold this up. That's where we were at, that little mark there. So we've come about 5mm across and we've lined up on our mark. This is of course keeping the other side of the car on the same mark, which is why it might be easier to have two people. Now we need to roll the car backwards up the hill and see what it's like on the inside. So just before we go back over, because it's getting a bit messy and mashed here, we'll have to wait for that to dry now. Okay, so that's half a turn back. Take our calipers, go back through. Okay, when I hold my calipers up here now, you can see my mark was right on the corner there where my fingernail is, and we're now a few mil, probably 5mm toe in, which is probably a little bit too far. Okay, so we're going to turn this, we're going to go back a little bit, we're going to go that way and have a look here, see if it made a difference. Okay, so now I'm going to just realign it to where my mark is. We roll the car forward and see where we're at. Okay, so you can see here that by rolling that over, if I measure that, I actually now have 3mm toe in, which is about what I was looking for. Okay, so I think I'm pretty close to the 2 to 3 mil mark with a bit of error. Last time I did it, I think we went for the 2 mil and it was a little bit toey still. So this time we're going to leave it with that 3 mil. We're going to get underneath. We're going to lock it up in that position. Then I'm going to take it for a drive and see how we go. Now for the other side. So just took it for a drive and it's sitting a lot better on the road. It's not trying to jump either side. Every little bump you hit doesn't want to pull you off the road. So yeah, that's with a 2 to 3 mil because my measurements are a little bit not accurate doing it this way. But it gives you a 2 to 3 mil toe in on the tyres. That's pointing in at the front. And again, this is just my understanding. So that because I'm running the bigger tyres, the 285, 75, 16s, one size up from standard, the rubber's flexes from here to here a little bit. So 2 mil toe in, and it sits a lot better on the road. Well, that's what I have found anyway. Look, if you're not sure about doing this, take it to somebody, ask them about it, and just ask them about the toe in and the toe out at the mechanic shop. If you're comfortable doing something like this yourself, well, that's up to you if you give it a go. I have, and it's worked out great for me. Saved myself a bit of money. So guys, if you like my videos, make sure you hit that like, share and subscribe. And guys, keep these 80s going. Get out there.